your secrets, Rose!
Really?
Oh, well, money's Fox, right? So they ain't have it, Fox. A little better. This theory, one I'm going to say right now, someone had told me about a theory about this, or at least told me this theory on a comment of one of my videos. I believe it was the last Steven Universe one review, yeah. So, I was looking at the comment, he couldn't give me a source for the original guy who thought up the original theory, but I want to throw it out here and also kind of give my own thoughts on it. He only told me like the broad strokes of it, and basically being that Rose may have been actually possessed by Pink Diamond, and not only that the Rose that we see and that we hear and talk whatever is actually Pink Diamond. And I also I'm going to record another theory right after this that would probably completely counteract this. Not counteract it, but it's a what if not, but also something that could possibly be. But the theory was that the powers such as Steven's Steven's ability to like Steven's ability to possess people, to possess basically, because he's possessed Lars, he's possessed the watermelon guy. And has he possessed anyone else? I can't really remember. As well as he had the dream walking power to dream walk anywhere. But, or at least in other people's minds. But the theory at least intrigued me, which I kind of thought was pretty cool, which was that, again, Rose was actually possessed by Pink Diamond. And as much and I was trying to look up some stuff about it too, and like one guy even talked about something similar, that at least talking about the powers, saying like, every time the show revealed to us one of Steven's new abilities that Rose had, they would then explain it to us. Like, your power to levitate is powered by your emotions. Or Rose had healing tears, but you have healing spit. So on and so forth. We learn that each new power, we usually get an explanation for why this is what. But for Steven himself, or for Steven's dream walking, we get no explanation. So it could, which honestly I kind of like this, which I guess it could be that Steven maybe is developing his own powers. But I also kind of like this theory that, which also I guess that could also be a reason why like he could fuse with humans, but or humanoids I guess that aren't gems. But I'm trying to think. But the thing is, like, one reason I kind of like the idea that this Rose was actually Pink Diamond, like, the guys, the commenters told me that, like, the theory is basically that, again, Rose is Pink Diamond, but it's Pink Diamond is possessing Rose itself, who was a loyal subject to Pink Diamond, and thus Pink Diamond stays inside Rose and hides her own gem somewhere else on Earth, or hides it somewhere to not get hurt. I was thinking, what if, let's say, for example, Pink Diamond possesses Rose and then shatters her own diamond, or shatters her own gem. Would her consciousness still be stuck within Rose itself? And a better question would be, if Rose was ever, let's say, poofed, would Pink Diamond still be in control? Or, the Rose we know be in control? I kind of find this a little bit at least to me, I find it fascinating to think about, because if again, the Rose that we know isn't actually Rose Quartz, but is Pink Diamond, basically, when I say actually Rose Quartz, I mean this Rose right here. This Rose that basically, the Rose that we've seen so far, the Rose that we've seen in Greg's memories, the Rose that we see in that Pearl nose, that Garnet nose, that Amethyst nose, that Pearl, or that Rose is actually Pink Diamond possessing a quartz. A Rose Quartz, of course. And that the personality before that quartz, we have no idea who that is, or, you know, who that character would be. Like, the personality-wise, I mean, at least. But, I just find it interesting because, let's say Steven ever gets badly injured, or badly hurt, to the point to where, you know, he's almost dead. Can he jump into another person's body, and, you know, basically his body dies, will he still be alive inside that body? I think I'm repeating myself, which I'm sorry. But the question then is, if, let's say, Rose did this to, or Pink Diamond did this to a quartz, I want to just say a quartz, I'm not going to say rose quartz, it's going to be a little too confusing. Sorry, back. Alright, so, what was I talking about? I'm sorry, I had a break for a second. But, if, let's say this happens, let's say for some reason, maybe Steven gets, not badly hurt, but let's say Rose's gem gets pulled out of Steven's stomach, because one, we honestly still have no idea what that would actually really do to Steven, since, again, he is part gem, but also part human. But then the question is, if, let's say, he gets the gem pulled out of him, would he be poofed, or would he still, you know, stay as a human form? And, you know, have a giant hole in his stomach. But also, I mean, it's getting kind of gruesome, so I'm sorry about that. So then let's say something like that happens. The gem gets pulled out, and let's say Rose reforms. Would that be the same, like, would that be Rose Quartz? One, also, that made me saying this out loud, I'm pretty sure this would never happen. Because I'd be like, well then no, because that'd also be kind of the question of, is Steven even, like, is stronger than a gem in a sense, because if Steven has his gem pulled out, and let's say it does, would he still have his powers? Or because he's half gem himself, would he be considered, not considered, would he be either just human, or would he still have his abilities, showing that he is basically a perfect hybrid of gem and human? To the point, but anyways, that's a different theory for a whole different time, but let's say something like that happened. Would Rose's personality be a Pink Diamond, or would it be a Rose Quartz? And also, what would that mean later on in the show if, let's say, this was actually said to be true, that Rose was actually Pink Diamond possessing a quartz body? What would that mean to... Because, one, that would basically break all the trust that Rose has ever had with the gems, I would think, because that would be the biggest secret blown ever, that Pearl, Garnet, and Amethyst would not know that their best friend and leader was actually a diamond in her of herself. And also, like, there's some things that, like, say that the possibility that something could be that, or at least that Rose was higher clearance because of all the things Steven's has access to. But anyways, I don't know. This was just a short theory, which I'm pretty sure I ran over the same thing over and over again a couple times. So I'm very sorry for that. This, even like a scene itself, I'm thinking, like, I like to do scenes that could possibly happen. Even though, yeah, this is a possibility that something like this could happen, I don't feel like the show's going to go in that direction. I feel like Steven's probably either going to Actually, I feel like in the end, either Steven's going to keep his gem course, and he's going to be, you know, a crystal gem, possibly immortal, or in the end, he might actually have his gem taken out, and maybe he'll still have his powers, maybe not, but maybe his gem will be taken out, Rose herself will reform, and Steven will live the rest of his life as just a human with Connie, basically giving up his immortality. Because I've seen, multiple times. I've seen, like, a couple times where they have an older Steven and then a dying Connie because Connie will age regularly. And I'm just thinking, wow, that's just awful. But, anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. This theory probably really doesn't have much of a theory in it, I guess. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. This was just a little thing I wanted to do. Something about a theory that kind of piqued my interest and kind of thought of some possibilities that could happen. That'd be pretty cool. But next theory is another Pink Diamond theory. But this one wondering, Was her gem used for other purposes after her shattering? I'll just leave it at that. See ya!